standing outside the door of love and mercy. You wonder if there's a place there for you. You know there's peace inside, but still you're searching for someone who understands the pain you've been through. But the Spirit waits with open arms. It's calling out your name. Come on in, welcome home. You are loved, you belong here now. No matter where you've been, come on in. Come on in. Come on in. You'll find a place of rest in the arms of Spirit. It's waited so long for your homecoming day. It knows the peace you need and the hurt you're feeling. We want to hold you and to wipe your tears away. When the doors unlocked, the lights are on. What are you waiting for? Come on in, welcome home. You are loved, you belong here now. No matter where you've been, come on in. Come on in. Where there's room enough in the home of love for someone just like you. Come on in, welcome home. You are loved, you belong here now. No matter where you've been, come on in, welcome home. You are loved, you belong here now. No matter where you've been, come on in. Come on in, welcome home. You are loved, you belong here now. No matter where you've been, come on in. 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 Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. Thank you for my health, Spirit. Thank you for my health. Thank you for my health, Spirit. Thank you for my health. My radiant, my radiant, my radiant health. My radiant, my radiant, my radiant health. Thank you for my life, Spirit. Thank you for my life. Thank you for my life, Spirit. Thank you for my life. My glorious, my glorious, my glorious life. My glorious, my glorious, my glorious life.
Welcome to Unity of Wilmington's hybrid service. I'm Vicki Hayes, and joining me are the Celebration Singers, our music director, Katie Deese, and a big warm welcome to Emily Graham, our soloist. Also, Reverend Nikki Golden will be giving the lesson. We are united in love, online or in person. And we remember these three important affirmations. You are a beloved expression of God. You are here for a holy purpose, and you're always in the right place at the right time right now.
Can you hear a little voice? Quiet now, so tired, telling you to reach into that heart of yours. Don't ignore the dream that's calling the spirit, dwelling through you now. Slowly growing louder, stronger, be free. The walls are falling down. The music's breaking through the clouds. Come and feel the warmth of the sun, the beauty of a song that's been on for too long. God, don't let the music die. The time has finally come. Cry no more. Open your wings, go and soar. Music lifts you high. Leave your heart, its beats the rhythm that surrounds you now. Slowly growing louder, stronger, be free. The walls are falling down. The music's breaking through the clouds. Come and feel the warmth of the sun, the beauty of a song that's been unsung for too long. This moment is mine.
Emily Graham, thank you so much. This moment is now. We're talking about dark to light today. From dark to light. So what did you learn about the darkness when you were growing up? Take a moment and think about that. When I moved to New York City in my 20s, the first question my dad asked me was, do you go out in the dark? That was the very first question he asked me. Not, how are you like in New York City? But do you go out in the dark? The second question was, do you ride the subway in the dark? So he was actually sending me a message. He was sharing with me, without necessarily saying it, what his belief about the dark was. What do you believe about the dark? The dark is scary. What else? Silent. I like that part of the dark. I don't even mind the scary part of the dark sometimes, but I can be a bit of a chicken. What else do you believe about the dark? And you guys who are online, be sure and put it in. I'll come back and answer you today. What else do you believe about the dark? It's mysterious. It's unknown. It's enchanting? Yes. See, I love that we're not just hanging out on what some people think about the dark side when we talk about dark to light. Mysterious, silence. Have you ever stood in a snowfall late at night? I've done it many a time, shoveling the driveway. But standing in snowfall late at night, And the snow is blanketing the sounds, and there's this silence, and there's the dark, and the snow is falling. It does feel enchanting at times. But I want to direct our thinking a little bit into what darkness means. We are a metaphysical church. So when I think about dark, I think about the metaphysical meaning of dark, which is our untapped capacity. It's our untapped capacity. And think about this. We often hear the first Genesis, and the darkness lay upon the land. Darkness, the untapped capacity lay upon the land. And God said, let there be light. And there was, and God then declared that light good. Well, light is that spiritual intelligence that's already within us. So think about that. Here's this untapped capacity that's moving over the earth. And then we bring forth our spiritual intelligence into that untapped capacity. We can go infinitely into potentiality if we allow ourselves to. And God, through the prophet Jeremiah, says to us, do it, because here's what happens if you'll do it. When you call on me, when you come and pray to me, I will listen. I'll listen. So when you call me, when you pray to me, I'll listen. When you come looking for me, you'll find me. Yes, when you get serious about finding me and want it more than anything else, I'll make sure you won't be disappointed. So God is sharing what God is going to do. We already have that within us because we have all of the capacities of God within us already. So that capacity for untapped potential is within us already. And then God makes this promise, seek me. Jesus just said it differently than Jeremiah said it. Seek first the kingdom of God. Seek first the consciousness of God. And where do we find that? We find that within. So when we seek first within, seeking that divinity that is already in us, then we can step past whatever our old beliefs about the dark are and step into that enchantment, step into that silence, step into that mysterious unknown, and do so from a place of love, because God is love. Now we have this opportunity. We also have the opportunity to go, oh, I'm not fulfilling my untapped capacities, my untapped abilities. And we can turn it in on ourselves, and we can make ourselves wrong and tell us we're not good enough. How many of you ever do that to yourself? I do too. But the beautiful thing about spiritual community here, and spiritual community here, for you are a part of our community as you watch us. The beauty of spiritual community is we can call each other to be our highest and greatest self. And as we pray, as we see the divinity in each other, as we stand in that consciousness of love, we are opening up to that untapped capacity that's already within us. So what do we need to do? Well, this says it. Call on me. Call on the I am within us. Call on me. Pray, meditate. You guys have heard these words before. What do? We pray and we meditate. We do denials and affirmations. My untapped capacity no longer holds me back from experiencing the life of my dreams. I stand in this consciousness of love, knowing that I have the ability to fulfill my deepest, wildest dreams. There's a denial and an affirmation for you. These are some of our spiritual tools in unity. We simply call them forth and live them day by day, and we will not be disappointed. That's the promise. That's the law. We will not be disappointed. We have to begin to think about a few things. Who are we called here to be? Who are you called to be? Who do you have the desire to be? And are you living it? Are you living it fully? Do you wake up every day filled with joy, excited to begin the day, being pulled by your dreams to get out of the bed and do something, to get out of the bed and take the action that is calling you to your greatest self? Do you do that every day? If not, instead of maligning yourself, align yourself. Align yourself with what's already within you and notice what's holding you back. Notice that. Oftentimes, the thing that holds us back is something that someone else said to us that we took on and held it close, believing it was true. But let me tell you, what other people think about you is more about them than it is about you. Now, if you have taken hold of that thought and you're hanging on to it and you're making it yours, then it has become about you. And the beauty of it is we have learned to do that. And we can shift that thought. I can look at the thought and say, oh, I can be safe in the dark. I can be living in New York City in my 20s and be safe in the dark, and I did it. I could ride this subway after dark. I had to a lot of times because I was coming home from work and it gets dark early in the winter. And I knew I could be safe. And I was not yet on a spiritual path, but there was something within me that had this sort of radar effect for me. Because there was one night I was standing in the subway on the tracks, not on the tracks, but on the area waiting for the train to come, and I was reading a book. And it was like ding, 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 ding went off in my own head. And I looked around me, and I realized that I was just about the only one on the subway platform. So I started moving closer to where the ticket person was. And then gently up the stairs, because I could hear the train when it came. So I just moved on up the stairs, and this guy said, "Hey, are you scared of me?" And I said, "Yes." And I just kept right on moving, because what was true was I was scared of him. And so I just moved on. He's down there in the subway area going, "You have nothing to fear from me." But my own internal radar went off, and my desire to listen to my body versus listen to him was greater. My desire to listen to my own internal guidance was greater than listening to what he said. Who knows? Who knows what would have happened? All of that is arguable. But what I know happened is I got upstairs safely. I read my book till I heard the train. I got on the train. There were other people on the train. I felt safe again. And I had felt safe the moment I engaged in the activity to move myself. When I heard the inner impulse and the ding, ding, ding that went on in my head, and I mean it, it was like, like those railroad crossings, ding, 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 ding. I heard it and I acted upon it. And I believe that's why this works. When you call on me, when you come to me, when you pray, I'll listen. And when you come looking for me, you'll find me. And where are we going to find me? I am. And I looked in the moment of my fear, and I found the I am, and I listened, and I moved. So we have to begin to ferret out for ourselves, where have we taken on somebody else's opinion, or where have we chosen to put blocks before us, thinking, oh, I can't do that because so-and-so said no, or I don't have enough money, or this or that. We all have our reasons. We call them reasons, right, instead of excuses. But, we have our excuses. We have our reasons for not stepping forward and stepping full out. Maybe so-and-so won't like me, or maybe I'm going to outshine somebody, or maybe I'm not good enough. I might be a failure. Well, I probably will be a failure, and I definitely at some point, and I definitely will be a failure by default if I don't step out. So what is your deepest dream? What's that dream that you haven't shared with anybody because it's, to you, precious and huge, and you're not quite sure if it's doable? But if it is a desire, and we know the difference, if it is a desire that comes forth from within us, if it comes from God, from our divinity, the sire, desire, the sire, the father. And I know sometimes that's hard for people who've had difficult father relationships. But when that desire comes from deep within us, and we know what it feels like, it's a calling. It's the calling of spirit for you to live your fullest and best life. That's exciting to me. And I hope that that's exciting to you. Who have we come here to be? And the next question is, what do we need to release to be that? What ideas from another do we need to release? What ideas, what beliefs are we hanging on to that are old beliefs that no longer serve us, that no longer fit the current version of us, that we need to let go of? Maybe there's a dream that you once held that it's time to let go of because you haven't taken the action on the dream, and some other dream has come forth. Sometimes we hold on to old dreams, and sometimes we don't let the new ones blossom because of the old dreams, because we're looking in the rearview mirror. We're looking in the past. And it's not wrong. And please don't make yourself wrong. Just reflect and say, oh, what can I release that will allow me to step forward with ease? Whose voice do I hear that I can let go of? Because it's not my voice, and I want my voice to be greater than anyone else's voice in my own head. And I want to come back to my inner guidance in my own head. And then the third step is to shift our energy, to change our energy, to change our frequency. You might know it as that. We do that with our thoughts. We do that with our emotions. We make a shift from seeing ourselves as less than to seeing ourselves as full out, available, and capable. I want to tell you a story from the Hebrew Scriptures. A guy named Jonah. You might have heard of him before. People talk about him as being swallowed by the whale. Now, let me give you a little backstory to that. Jonah was a prophet. He was a prophet for God. He's a preacher man in many ways. And one day, he heard the message within himself from God, go and preach to Nineveh. Nineveh was a city that the Israelites feared because they felt like Nineveh could overtake them. And here's God saying, go preach this place you're scared of. So if we put this in modern day terms, it could be that desire within the heart that's calling you is saying, go do something you're scared to do because you think you might fail. Go do that thing that scares you. So God is like, go preach to Nineveh. Here's the story I want you to tell them. Here's what I want you to say to them. And what did Jonah do? He looked at Nineveh, said, that's one of the biggest enemies of Israel and the Israelites. I'm going the other way. So he went to Tarshish instead. He took off. He went the opposite direction. And what he did was he got on this ship. And as the ship is moving, all of a sudden this huge storm came up. Well, the folks, the sailors on the ship, knew that Jonah had been called to Nineveh, and here he was going the opposite direction, and here comes this big storm. And if you know much about the Old Testament or the Hebrew Scriptures, oftentimes when the big storm comes, there's a change a-coming. And so what the sailors did was they took Jonah and they tossed him overboard. They were like, hey, you're not going to change our path because of your fear. And they tossed him overboard. And what happened? Here comes a big fish. Here comes a big fish, and it swallows him up. Now remember, these are not literal stories. These are allegories. These are metaphorical stories. So this big fish, Jaws, comes, swallows up Jonah. And Jonah lives in this belly of this fish for 3 days. 3 days. And after a few days, he thought, well, I guess I better pray. He started listening to Jeremiah. I guess I better pray, because here I am stuck in the belly of a fish. So he began to pray, and he began to praise God, and he began to call upon his experience of his relationship with God. And what do you think might have happened? All of a sudden, Jonah found himself spit out of the fish and on land. And can you guess where that land was? He was in Nineveh. There he was, the place that he had run away from, the place that he was trying not to go. He was picked up and directed to that place in all of his fear. Well, metaphysically, the big fish is the guidance of God. So it wasn't around him. He was in the midst of the guidance of God because he was in the belly of the fish. And through that guidance, he did exactly this. When you call on me, and remember, Jonah decided, maybe I better pray. Then he went to praise. When you call on me, I will answer, and you will not be disappointed. Where have you run? What area of your life have you looked at and said, oh, this is too big for me. This is overwhelming. I'm too scared. What will other people think? What if it's not good enough? Where have you done that in your life? I'm going to invite you to imagine yourself. You don't have to be in the belly of the fish. But know that around us, while we cannot see it, but it is as true as the light, the spiritual intelligence, we are being guided. Just like the ding, ding, ding on the subway for me. I was guided. Each of us has that potentiality to be guided and to see what happens, to step forth in that, to make a difference, to change our energy. And the moment we seek first the consciousness of God that's already within us and all around us, the moment we do that, we are changing our energy. We've spent a lot of time, hopefully, well, we did anyway, over the last few days thinking about gratitude, things that we're grateful for. We celebrated it for a whole day on Thursday. But if we can look not only at what we're grateful for in our life, but if we open up that gratitude, if we expand that gratitude and express what we're grateful to becoming and what we're grateful to becoming. So what is coming and what we are becoming. We can use the energy of that to hold our attention in the belly of the fish. You could put it in a bowl. You could put it in any kind of container. But I'm inviting you to write the intention, that desire of your heart down and put it in a container. And every day, use your energy to fill that container with gratitude. And allow that intention to expand and to hold it. And when you catch yourself looking at something different or having a different thought, bring your attention. And I want you to do it in a container that you can touch. Because sometimes we need to be able to come back to something tangible and touch it. To be able to pick up that intention and read it again and again and hold it in that bowl or container, whatever you choose, of gratitude. So that we stay the course. So that we stay in alignment. So we continue to do this. So yes, when you're serious about finding me, and let me in this case be the intention, when you're serious about living your life to the fullest, when you're serious about overcoming adversity, when you are serious about experiencing joy or peace or harmony or whatever your word is, take the action and know that the promise is that we will not be disappointed. And let me tell you the rest of the story about Jonah. And how often have we done this? So Jonah's on Nineveh, and he figures, well, I might as well preach what God told me to preach. So he goes and he preaches with all of his heart, and he shares his story. And guess what? The people of Nineveh listened. They listened and they changed and they did something different. And God, who was very mad and wanting, desirous, God of the Old Testament gets mad quite a bit. It's what happens. But it's teaching us about how often do we get mad. How often do we get mad because somebody else is not being who we want them to be? And that's exactly what God was doing. You're not being who I want you to be, so I'm going to send a prophet to tell you how to be different. And in this case, of course, the prophet ran, but eventually the prophet gets back. And the prophet speaks, and they change. Imagine that. Isn't that cool? The people change. And Jonah got mad. He matched God. He got mad. And he said, hey, God, you were mad at these people and you were going to destroy them, and I preached what you wanted me to preach, and they changed. I mean, how often have you asked somebody to be different and they have been? They've been different. They've made a change for you. And then you're like, not enough. Change more. Have you ever done that? You guys are laughing. I hope you guys are laughing too. And so what happened? Jonah sits down in the sun and is just mad. And so God, with compassion, with kindness, grows a plant that has this huge leaf. And the leaf shields Jonah from the sun. So Jonah had an experience of anger. And God pulls forth this beautiful plant and takes care of Jonah. Says, I told you I won't disappoint you. And Jonah is still mad. But you said you were going to destroy them. Jonah, it's not coming out like he wanted it to come out. So then he's still saying, I just want to die, just want to die, just want to die, because you're not being who I want you to be, God. And Jonah is not being in alignment with his divine purpose. But he thinks it's God. And then God gets mad. God sends a worm. And the worm eats a hole in the plant and eventually eats the plant. And then the sun is there. So at some point, we have within us the freedom and the capacity to create within ourselves the obstacle to our own dreams. How do you do that? I know sometimes how I do it, and sometimes I need someone else to help me understand how I do it. But the beautiful thing is, no matter how often we put the obstacle into our dreams, when we come home to this statement, when we seek first the consciousness of God, when we come into the experience of our alignment with the divine, when we answer the calling of Spirit, then we have the understanding, the spiritual intelligence to remove the obstacle and to know, like Jonah, that his words had an impact, a positive impact on the people of Nineveh. We have that same capacity with each other. First of all, with ourselves and with each other, to have that positive impact, to allow Spirit to move in, through, and as us, to open our hearts wide, to live in a way that we are truly pulled from our slumber, to do that thing that only we are called to do because it's so exciting and passionate within us. If this is something that you're interested in, I went too far. Say this affirmation with me. I open my heart and mind to my full potential. Together, I open my heart and mind to my full potential. Let's take that into meditation. I open my heart and mind into my full potential. What is Spirit calling you to do that only you can do? Maybe somebody else is doing it, but nobody's doing it like you're doing it. What are you being called to? Where are you in life right now? What are the reasons? Colonel Sanders was 65 years old and making $105 a month with his Social Security. 65 when he started Kentucky Fried Chicken. So don't let age be your obstacle. Don't let money be your obstacle. Who are you here to be? You're on this planet in this moment. You're on this planet, so there is something for you to do. There is a dream in your heart. Allow yourself to tune into that dream. Let the music open up your heart. Your dream may begin as a whisper, or maybe it's shouting at you. What is your dream? If you call, the divinity within you will answer. Don't let your music die. Allow your heart song to be the loudest voice in your head. What and who are you being called to be? And what do you need to release to step forth in that consciousness? To be all that you can be. To know that you are fully supported by the divinity that is within you and all around you, the immanent and the transcendent. And then tune in to your heart and let gratitude fill your heart. Generate it if you need to. Think of things that you're grateful for. Just feel the energy of gratitude. Gratitude means we've already received something. What is it that you would like to receive? Don't let that dream go unanswered by you. Know that you have all of the capacity of God within you to be all that you desire to be all that you were called to be. You have the skills and the capabilities, or you know how to go and develop the skills. Seek first the consciousness of that dream within you, that desire within you. And allow, surrender, open up to, expand, and smile at your own heart. And then as we begin to come back into this time and this place, this now moment, bring that desire with you. Bring it with you and hold it gently in your heart over the course of this next week, knowing that when you truly stand in the consciousness of your humanity and divinity, and you step forth into your dream and take the next step and the next step and the next step, you will not be disappointed.
I messed up tonight. I lost another fight. Lost to myself, but I'll just start again. I keep falling down. I keep on hitting the ground. I always get up to see what's next. Birds don't just fly, they fall down and get up. Nobody learns without getting it wrong. I won't give up, no, I won't give in till I reach the end, and then I'll start again. No, I won't leave. I wanna try everything. I wanna try even though I could fail. I won't give in till I reach the end, then I'll start again. No, I won't leave. I wanna try everything. I wanna try even though I could fail. Try everything. Try everything. Try everything. Look how far you've come. You filled your heart with love. Baby, you've done enough. Take a deep breath. Don't beat yourself up. No need to run so fast. Sometimes we come last, but we did our best. I won't give up, no, I won't give in till I reach the end, and then I'll start again. No, I won't leave. I wanna try everything. I wanna try even though I could fail. I won't give up, no, I won't give in till I reach the end, and then I'll start again. No, I won't leave. I wanna try everything. I wanna try even though I could fail.
If you have been moved, touched, or inspired by anything you've heard today, I invite you to support the community that supports you, to support Unity of Wilmington so that we can continue to support you. We have a number of ways to receive for you to give. One is through Venmo, one is through the donate button, which is on our website, and you can mail it in, and you can find our address on our website. Or if you're in the room, we have a basket in the back. And for all of that support, we say thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for being with us today in whatever capacity you are with us. And I invite you to know that sometimes the biggest challenge in life is to live our full out life, to live our wild and wonderful life that we have. Say it with me again. I open my heart and mind to live in my full potential. Say it with me. I open my heart and mind to live in my fullest potential.
I won't give up, no, I won't give in till I reach the end, and then I'll start again. No, I won't leave. I wanna try everything. I wanna try even though I could fail. I won't give up, no, I won't give in till I reach the end, and then I'll start again. No, I won't leave. I wanna try everything. I wanna try even though I could fail. Try